Do I have to know the topic now, or can I pick it at the end?
However you want to do it.
All right. Hi, I'm Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Grateful, recovering member in this program. I remember, in all honesty, the first time I came to this meeting, and I wanted to see how the cool Hollywood kids did it. And I was like, I'm sure it's going to be cliquey and douchey and cool and too cool for school. And when I got here and I walked in, I just felt it like any other meeting. All the love, all the compassion, all the understanding of my brothers and sisters who grew up like I did or worse. And it was so beautiful to have that up here. I was like, oh yeah, this is everywhere. There's no, we're all in the club. My mom was not an alcoholic, but she was sick and had the same symptoms of an alcoholic. She would glaze over and get fuzzy and start slurring her words. And if we didn't get her medicine, she would pass out. And if we didn't revive her, she would die. And every morning, if we didn't wake her up, she would die. And if she was having one of her spells before she woke up, it was not fun. It was not pretty. My dad was Irish Catholic. That speaks for itself. He left us with this very sick woman when I was 7. That started. And every morning was just chaos. You were on your own. I would wake up like a fireman, just starting to put fires out. And I would prep my clothes and my cereal for the night before for the morning. So I just have more time to deal with my mom. And she'd be in one of her spells, and we'd have to put orange juice and sugar in a plastic cup because she would bite the glass. And she'd be hitting us and half naked and sweaty and wrestling us, and it was just all kinds of boundary violations and just nightmare. And my friends would be ringing the front doorbell to go to school. And going to school was a fucking adventure. It was like Huck Finn. And we would go over live train tracks and through an active lumber yard. I mean, it was fun. I wanted to go to school, and I would miss it with my friends because it was like a metaphor. There goes my childhood while I'm home dealing with this hell. And I was late a lot. I was the idiot who couldn't get to school on time. Every year when the attendance reports came out, I would look like the guy who couldn't get his shit together, and it wasn't my fault. And my sister, to this day, can't admit any of it. She's just full of rage and pain, and I can't even deal with her. I can just pray for her because it's too much. Her pain is my pain, and I've worked on mine. I've gotten away from it, but hers is so intense, and it's killing her, and I just can't be around it because it's walking on eggshells. She could erupt at any moment. And being out in public and just seeing my mom glaze over and knowing that whatever fun we were having, it's like now I'm the parent. Childhood's over. I have to deal with this now. And I learned very early, no one is coming. No one's coming. Not the church, not the police, not the teachers, not my friends, parents. No one's coming. We're on our own with this. And I came out here to get into a certain profession, which I've been doing since I've been 7 years old. I've been learning to detach and to stuff and to pretend that everything was okay. Because after one of her spells, she'd be fine. She'd be like, what do you want for dinner? There was no acknowledgement, of any of that. Come home from school and get yelled at for something and be like, didn't I just save your life 6 hours ago? Like, what are you yelling at me for? And there was no acknowledge that it happened and no apology, nothing, just pretend like it was normal. And she was a great loving mom, which is even more confusing. Because she'd be sweet and nurturing and loving, but then, I love you, but I'm not going to be here in the morning. And I'm going to forget to pick you up after school. And, it was just that repeated abandonment over and over and over again. So I recently discovered, with the help of my nutritionist, that I have been in fight or flight, thank you, for 45 years. My adrenal glands are shot. I don't know what it's like to be calm and to be relaxed. I'm just learning that now through meditation and some binaural music and really focusing on my breath and calming my system down. The other night I was drifting off into bed. I literally had my head on the pillow and I was watching Russian car crash videos. I don't know how anyone is alive over there. It's insane. and Street Fighter knockout videos that say warning sensitive content. And I'm like, what am I doing? And I'm like, oh, my body doesn't trust being calm. It has to be on hyper alert to be safe. Like, it can't do this. It doesn't want to do this. And I've done this with my freelance work, where you don't know when the phone's going to ring or the check's going to come in, dating unavailable women. It's all to keep me in that hyper alert state, because that's what I needed to be. That's all I've ever known. And calming my body down has been a new thing for me lately. And the other morning I was putting the dishes away and I was banging them into the cabinets, and my mind automatically went to me screaming back and defending myself to my neighbor who's yelling at me for banging the cabinets. And a voice in my head, my recovery voice, said, "Excuse me, insane person, none of that is happening." None of that is real. We don't have to be in that state right now. We could be calm and relaxed in our kitchen. Okay, there's no life to save this morning but my own. And I get to decide how I want my mornings now. And I remember when I first got into this program, I used to have the self-hate talk on a loop. And I remember like 3 months into the program, I was driving to a meeting and I was late. And so the loop wanted to start beating me up. And another voice came into my head and said, whoa, whoa, whoa. We are never going to talk to ourselves like that again. That is hateful, and that is mean, and that is cruel. And we do not deserve that. And I learned that gentle is an option through this program. That I could treat myself well. I could tell my clients, not today, I'm sick. I don't feel well. And instead of the script I write in my head of them saying, get here anyway, because you don't matter, I can change it and put in another version where they say, oh my God, take care of yourself, which is what they always say anyway. I'm not alone anymore because I have a higher power. My higher power loves me. And one of the things I used to do when I first got into the program was I set an alarm on my phone every morning to make myself find a reflective surface and look me in the eye and say, I love you. Because I was at an extreme deficit of hearing that. And I needed to do it. And someone said yesterday in a meeting, my feelings don't matter more than my recovery at that point. So if I felt stupid and self-conscious saying that to myself, who cares? I needed it. My inner child needed it. He didn't hear that. He wasn't safe. He thought he was horrible, and he was unlovable and unwanted. And he's not. He's perfect, just the way he is. And I turned my house into a fortress of solitude where I was safe. I could watch whatever I want. I could eat breakfast for dinner. I could wear pajamas all day. Who cares? I was safe. No one could come in and blow up that spot and make me feel unsafe. And I needed it. And I learned, thank you, is that 8? Okay. And service. I remember how doing service in this meeting is so important in this program. Just showing up is service. Just having another face at the meeting, making the meeting and the community stronger. Just having a familiar face in that room for someone else to see, even if you don't share. That's service. But I knew that I had to get someplace in front of people where I could share my truth, because I had been pretending and lying long enough. And I needed to put my head down and raise my hand and share and still be loved in spite of what I had to say and how I felt about myself. And that's what this program gave me. And I was really nervous about sharing in front of you guys today, because there's so many of you. And it's intimidating, but I was like, all I have to do is share my truth, and that I am safe. I'm safe in this room and every room that I go to. And that's something I've been looking for my entire life. And finding it is such a gift, because now I can be authentic with everyone in my life. And when I show someone that that's where I'm coming from, honesty and vulnerability, that makes them safe to come to me with that. And service and meetings. I have a card in my car from a newcomer who I spoke to after her first meeting. And a year later, on her birthday, she told me if I hadn't talked to her after that meeting, she wouldn't be here. And this stuff is important. This is life-saving. I mean, this is saving our own lives and saving each other's lives. So, you know, showing up is important, and sharing. You know, the quickest way to get me to love you, is to show me your pain. Because then I can relate to you, and I can know how to make you feel safe. And hopefully I did some of that here today. Thank you. All right, back to me. Yeah, when I first, they gave me the phone list and said, here's 60 people you can call anytime you want to talk about anything you want. I was like, fuck you. How dare you? And I called, my first time I called, it was just to see if they would take the call. I was like, I don't have anything to talk about. I just want to see if you would do this. And she was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I was like, and that's been a lifesaver ever since. I have a whole list of people on my phone whose last name is Al. And you just start hitting the names until somebody picks up. And of course I have the thoughts of well, they're too busy. They don't want to talk to me. I don't want to bother them. They're probably doing something awesome that, you know, they don't want. But I know when I get a phone call from someone whose last name is Al, I think, thank God. Because I need to talk to somebody right now. I just don't have the strength to call anybody. And they say an outreach call saves 2 people. You know, and usually the person who you call gets more out of it than you did. Because to teach is to learn again. And so when somebody's in a healthy mind and they can share some program that you can't access in that moment, they get it too. And it's such a beautiful gift, and it's so easy. What else? Someone came up to me and was talking to me about everything I was talking about before, and how quickly I want to trust things and situations and people, because it's a shortcut to not having to learn who they really are and just get to safe. And I did that for years. Like, oh, you have perfect teeth? You must be an awesome person. I can trust you wholeheartedly. Like, oh, you look like Paul Bunyan? Oh, you could be my pretend dad. You know, and it's like, no. Han Solo did not attack the Death Star. He left with his money. Okay, he let us down too. And, because he was a smuggler. And now in this program, I have to learn who people are. I can't just trust people blindly. I have to protect myself and my inner child until I know that person and know they're worthy of my trust. And this program has taught me that. And having the relief of being able to trust people in this room, you know, and my sponsor, and lean on them. And working the steps. When my sponsor came over on a busy Sunday and found parking in my neighborhood to listen to me read my 4th step, I mean, action is one of my love languages. And that landed. Him burning those calories for me and that time for me, it landed, and I felt it. And I knew that it was unavoidable that this man loves me. And I was safe to share everything I said to him. And he didn't chase me out of my house with a pitchfork because of the things I said. Is that it? All right. Thanks for letting me share.